Good morning. This morning we are going to continue our discussion about character traits. So let's first remember that characters are who is in the story, right? Okay. We remember from yesterday that we have two types of character traits. We have external character traits and internal character traits. Okay. Remember that external character traits means what's on the outside. What can we see with our eyes? Okay. Remember, so we can list things like their hair color, their clothing, their height, things like that. Okay. And then we have internal character traits. And remember, you can you can use in at the beginning of internal to help you remember that internal means what's on the inside. Okay, so internal character traits are basically the character's personality based on their thoughts, words, and feelings. Okay, so external character traits, what's on the outside, what can we see with our eyes, and internal character traits, what is on the inside, what's their personality based on their thoughts, words, and feelings. Okay, so today our story, is called Serious Farm, and it is written by Tim Egan. Okay, look at everybody's facial expression on the cover of the story. They all look really serious, right? Why do you think everybody is being so serious on this farm? I want you to make a prediction in your head. I predict blank. Why is everybody so serious? Okay. Farmer Fred never smiled much. He wasn't a sad fellow, just very serious. Farming is serious business, he'd say. Nothing funny about corn. Now, because it was Farmer Fred's farm, all the animals acted like he did, so they were very serious too. When he would say, "There's no humor in tomatoes," they'd all agree. The pigs, the cows, the horses, the chickens, the rabbit, the sheep, all extremely serious. Have you guys ever seen animals look so serious before? I haven't. One night, Edna the cow said, "We've got to get Farmer Fred to laugh. I mean, it's okay to be serious, but not all the time. We need some laughter." "Must admit," said Bernie the goat, "I wouldn't mind smiling again." Okay, so why do you think all the animals are so discouraged when they can't make Farmer Fred laugh? Why do they want to laugh so badly? Think about that. He stretched his mouth and showed all his teeth. It wasn't a very convincing smile. They all decided that they needed a plan to make the farm more fun. The next morning, as the sun came up, Edna was standing on the fence where Cormac the rooster usually stood. She was barely able to keep her balance. She tried to yell, "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" But since she was a cow, it didn't come out like that at all. It was the first time anyone had done anything funny in months, so it made all the animals laugh. Farmer Fred just looked out the window and said, "You're not a rooster," and shut the window and went back to sleep. "Wow," said Edna, "this is going to be tougher than I thought." That morning was serious as usual, with Farmer Fred saying things like, "Broccoli's no fun," and "I never laugh at bell peppers." "Okay," said Edna to the others, "let's try another idea." When Farmer Fred went to feed the pigs that afternoon, they started barking like dogs. Everyone thought it was hilarious, but Farmer Fred. "That's more weird than funny," he said as he walked away. "All right," said Edna, "this isn't working. Let's try something new." They sneaked into the house and took some clothes from Farmer Fred's closet and put them on. It wasn't as easy as it sounds. Okay, so they're all dressed up in Farmer Fred's clothes. Do you think he's going to laugh at this? Do you think he's going to find it funny? What do you think? Let's see. That evening, as the moon lit up the field, Bernie rang the doorbell. Farmer Fred came out onto the porch and said, "What in the world?" The animals were all dancing around in Farmer Fred's clothes. They were terrible dancers, which actually made it funnier. But Farmer Fred just said, "Better not get my clothes dirty." He walked back inside without smiling. So, how do you think the animals feel after they went through all of this, putting on his clothes and trying to be funny and dancing just to make him laugh, and he still didn't? How do you think they feel right now? For the next 2 weeks, the animals tried everything they could to make Farmer Fred smile a little, but nothing worked. It got to be very discouraging. One night, the animals met in the barn. "Well, I don't know about you," said Edna, "but I can't take it anymore. I have to live somewhere more fun than this. I'm leaving." They all agreed with Edna and packed up their stuff, which wasn't which what ugh. They all agreed with Edna and packed up their stuff, which wasn't much, and headed out into the night. Okay, so everybody's leaving. They must not feel very happy, right? The next morning, there was no sound of a rooster or even a cow. Farmer Fred looked outside and saw that all the animals were gone. "Oh no," he said, "all the animals are gone." Farmer Fred became sad immediately. Now, it was one thing to be serious, but it was another thing to be sad. Farmer Fred didn't like the feeling at all. Okay, so he was feeling sad, right? Why was he feeling so sad? He must really care about the animals, right? Okay, he doesn't like this sad feeling. Think about a time that you felt sad. Did you like how that felt? Probably not, right? He got into his truck and drove down the road in search of his friends. He went about 4 miles, but there was no sign of them anywhere. Then he heard some laughter in the distance. He followed the sound and saw the animals walking through the woods. He got out of his truck, walked into the forest, and asked, "What's going on here?" "We couldn't stand it," said Edna. "We've tried to cheer you up, but nothing's worked, so we're running away. Well, walking away." The other animals nodded in agreement. "Well, that's no way to solve a problem," said Farmer Fred. "You don't just leave. I mean, sure, I'm serious, but that doesn't mean you have to be. And besides, we're family. I take care of you. I need you. Not to mention that you're safe on the farm. You'd probably be eaten by lions in a day or two out here in the woods." The animals thought about this for a moment. As they whispered to one another about the lion issue, Farmer Fred mumbled, "Cows and chickens running wild in the woods." Edna turned quickly and said, "What was that?" "I think he laughed a little," said Bernie. "Yes," said a chicken. "I heard it. It wasn't much, but he did laugh." Okay, so what made him finally laugh? He was thinking about how funny it was that the farm animals were running wild in the woods, right? So he finally thought something was funny. "Well," said Edna, "in that case, you're witty enough for us, Farmer Fred, and we care about you too. I guess we can go back to the farm." The other animals nodded their heads and said things like, "I agree," and "good idea," and "let's go back." They hopped onto the truck and Farmer Fred drove them home. So how do you think everyone is feeling now? Everyone's going home together. They got Farmer Fred to laugh. They're probably feeling very happy, right? From that day forward, they were able to make Farmer Fred laugh a little more, especially by bringing up the idea of cows and chickens running wild, although he still doesn't see anything funny about corn. Okay, that was a pretty good story. I like that one. So, what I want you guys to do now is I want you to draw a picture of your favorite character from the story, okay? And then On one side of the paper, I want you to write the word internal, and on the other side, I want you to write the word external. Okay? On the side of the picture that says internal, I want you to draw 2 lines and list 2 internal character traits about your favorite character that you've chosen. On the other side, where it says external, I want you to draw 2 lines and I want you to list 2 external character traits about the character that you have chosen. Okay? For example, if you choose Farmer Fred, one of his internal character traits could very obviously be what? That he is very serious. Okay? And that's based on his thoughts and feelings and words, right? Okay, so again, you're going to draw a picture of your favorite character, list 2 external character traits and 2 internal character traits. You do not have to turn this into me, but I know a lot of you guys have been uploading pictures of your work for Mrs. Matea. So if you would like to, you can upload a picture or share that picture with me on the in the comments section under this lesson. But again, you do not have to, okay? Also, in the comment section, I want you guys to think about a question. What other silly things could the animals have done to make Farmer Fred laugh? Okay, so I want you to think of something that you think would have been hilarious that would have made Farmer Fred laugh, and I want you to share it by clicking reply. Remember to click reply in the chat section, okay? Let's see what kind of funny things you guys can come up with this morning. Talk to you later.